If you're a videographer who's great with a camera, but somehow still broke or just not growing, this video is for you, because being talented is not your problem. The real problem is you're stuck in a cycle of relying on referrals, hoping for clients, and burning out in the process. I coach freelance videographers who are tired of guessing where their next paycheck's gonna come from, and every week I get DMs from people just like you. They've got the skills, they got the work ethic, but they don't have a system that brings in customers without cold calling or doing any free work. And that's why they are stuck. So if you're ready to know why you're struggling to get clients consistently and what to do about it, you're in the right place. Now, before we get into it, if you wanna know why the hell you should listen to me in the first place, I'm Ridge, and a few years ago, I was right where you are, grinding as a freelance videographer. I hate the word freelance, but it's true. I had the skills, I knew how to shoot, edit, and deliver, but I was broke, burnt out, and always chasing my next client. I thought the solution was to get better at video, smoother edits, new gear, sharper color grade, but no matter how much better I got, my bank account just didn't seem to care. And the truth is, being good at video isn't what gets you paid. Knowing how to run a business is. So fast forward to today, I run a multiple six-figure company making $80,000 a month, helping other videographers escape the freelancer trap, and finally building something scalable, predictable, and worth showing up for. Most videographers have no real client acquisition strategy. I can't tell you how many videographers I talk to, and when I ask the question of what are you doing right now for marketing to get more clients, and they say, oh, just word of mouth. That's not a strategy. Word of mouth is the same thing as saying, I just sit back and wait and pray, hope someone's gonna come to me and say, yeah, I want your video, right? There's just no way to predictably scale a business. In and of itself, it's not predictable. It's a bottleneck that limits the amount of customers that can simply walk through the door if they want your services. If you're trying to build a business, you're trying to provide for a family, you're trying to make more money, whatever your goals are, you need a predictable way to get there. If you're just relying on word of mouth and referrals and networking events and cold calling, or maybe you're going and knocking on some doors, you have no clue what that's going to get you. In order to actually scale predictably, you need to understand what inputs you're getting and then what exact outputs you'll receive from those inputs. If you don't know those metrics and you don't track your KPIs, your key performance indicators, you have no clue how valuable the inputs that you are doing for your business really even are. Yeah, sure, maybe one of your clients is happy with your videos and maybe they told one person, maybe, we have no idea, but they're not telling 10, they're not telling 100, they're not telling 1,000. And if they are telling 10, how many of those 10 people are actually coming to even work with you or hit you up? You probably don't know. Or maybe you're posting reels pretty consistently, maybe you're posting on your stories, or maybe you're just posting reels once in a blue moon whenever you have the time for it instead of making the time for it. Here's the problem with that. When you post on social media, you are quite literally praying to the algorithm gods, hoping somebody's going to magically bring you clients and someone's gonna hit you up and go, hey, that was a cool video. Can you help me? Can I give you my money? How's that working out for you? Probably not very well. You have no idea if it's gonna get in front of 10,000 people or 10 people. You have no idea who those people even are. And we have no idea if they're clicking or if they're shooting you a DM. We have no way to track any of those metrics. The only metric you see is how many people it gets in front of. And you have no idea how many people each video is going to get in front of. It's all over the place. And the worst part is that when you're making this content, you are quite literally distributing it to the world, right? We have no idea if people locally within a 10-mile radius are seeing it, or if people from Alaska are seeing it, freaking Canada, China. It's all over the place, right? Hopefully, maybe it figures it out, but it's all relying on hope and promises and dreams. Now, organic, I think at this point we can realize, is not a strategy in and of itself, okay? Now, what is a strategy though? Paid ads. Now, why are paid ads better than organic? With paid ads, you can quite literally choose the exact demographic of people that you want to get your ad in front of. And then we pay a certain dollar amount to guarantee that we get in front of X number of people. And then we get to choose where we are showing this to. So you can choose what kind of people, demographic-wise, age, gender, interest. We can choose how many by how much money we put into ad spend, and we choose where geographically, because we can put a radius and we can target. That is specific. And then even better, when you're spending $50 a day on ads, you can then look and see, okay, for every $1,000 that I've spent over the past 10 days, $100 a day, I can see that based on my campaign, which was, let's say it's a lead form. So people see the ad, they click on the video because they want what you have to offer. You're directly telling them what you're gonna do for them. They fill out their information, their name, their contact information, and then a couple qualifying questions. You can see exactly how many leads you get for X dollars in ad spend. And then based on those number of leads, you call them and you can say, out of these 10 leads that I got, I booked 5 of them in for an actual formal sales call because 5 of them picked up the phone and they all scheduled a call with me. And then of those 5 calls that I scheduled, I hopped on 3 of them because 2 of them just didn't show up. It happens, it sucks. And of those 3, I closed 1 of them and I contracted $2,000 a month for a 5-month contract, which is $10,000. So you just spent $1,000 to make $10,000. I don't know about you, but how many more thousands of dollars would you spend to make 10,000? Probably indefinite, right? You simply can't do anything like that when you're posting organically on social media, relying on word of mouth, or door knocking, or going to networking events. It's the best strategy, bar none. The question is, how do we actually do it effectively? Here's another thing to consider. You only scale by either deploying your time or deploying your money, okay? It's one or the other. Now, when you're broke, you don't have a ton of money, you can only deploy your time. So naturally you think, let me just make organic content because it doesn't really cost me anything. However, if you want to acquire 1 client through organic, you are not going to do it by posting 1 reel. You got to do 30, minimum on the low end. And even then, we're still praying and hoping that that is enough, okay? And if you're doing 30 pieces of content to get you a better chance at closing that 1 client, think about how much time that's going to take. How long we're going to spend scripting those videos. How long we're going to spend filming those videos. How long you're going to spend editing and then posting, coming up with the caption. That's probably going to be like, what, 3 full days? Maybe 24 hours worth of work at least. So that's 1 full day without sleeping, 3 working days. What if, hear me out on this, what if you could spend 1 hour scripting an ad, 1 hour filming it, and then 1 hour getting it up and posted and running as an ad. Running ads is a lot simpler than you think. That's only 3 hours. And then you just keep spending the money to make more money. Okay, if it was up to me, I would go get a credit card and put $1,000 on a credit card, which by the way, that's really high to acquire a client. You can do it in $500. And I would keep spending $500 and keep closing more clients, and then it just snowballs from there. So which would you rather do? Spend 3 hours making 1 ad that works for you in the background so you can spend the rest of your time deploying it to build systems, bring people on your team, hone in on your offer, help your clients, or spend all your time making these videos, posting them over a month, and then praying. Here's another thing you need to consider, okay? What is a lead in the first place? Well, a lead is simply name, contact information, and some level of interest. Now, if you're doing just organic, and ask you the question of, well, how many leads are you getting? You're probably gonna say, I don't know, because I don't know what leads are. Maybe it's a DM, maybe it's a comment, maybe it's a like, maybe it's someone reaching out to me and saying, hey, I wanna work with you. Sure, those are all forms of a lead, but they're also all forms of different intentions within the buying process. Somebody liking a video is in no way, shape, or form someone showing interest they wanna work with you. Maybe 0.1%, right? A comment, same thing. A DM. Now, if they DM you from a reel, first of all, how many of those are you getting? You don't know. You still have no idea, okay? But even if someone DMs you, maybe they're just asking some questions, a little interested. Here's why ads are great. Because when you make a direct response ad saying, this is who we help, this is what we'll do for you, do you want it or not? You're only going to get contact information of people filling out the form that actively want the service you have to offer. So you're not wasting your time with people that don't want the thing that you have, that don't have the problem that you're solving, and that aren't gonna waste your time. You can see exactly what time they filled out the form. You can ask qualifying questions of how much revenue are you making in your business? What's your biggest constraint or bottleneck? What are you struggling with in marketing? How soon are you looking to get started? So you can get their contact information and you can get qualifying questions so you can see exactly how engaged and how legit of a lead they are before you actually hop on the phone with them. Now, here's why networking events are a complete waste of time. And I've got a whole other video on this, but let me give you the cliff notes. Networking events suck because you're going in and you're taking 2 hours away of your time between travel, showing up in person, and sitting there, and you have like 5 seconds to give an elevator pitch. And guess what? You're giving that to 20 people. And those 20 people are also probably not business owners. They're all a bunch of sales reps that were sent to these BNI networking groups from the business owner so they can go and sell their services. Networking is a joke. Okay? Because the real people that are actively getting business, the real business owners that are making a lot of money aren't going to fucking networking events. They're running ads. They're doing legit marketing. So you're gonna go waste your time because all the people there are just trying to sell you on their stuff. They're not there looking to buy your things. And here's the other thing, you're spending 2 hours of your time to get in front of 10 people, maybe 20 if you're lucky. Or you spend 3 hours of your time to make an ad that gets you in front of 1,000 people, day after day, after day, after day, and after day. Thousands of people, and you just gotta do it once and make one video. And if you're introverted, would you rather do that, film the ad, get it running, and then just let it do its thing? Or do you want to keep going to networking event after networking event, being in front of all these different people and feeling uncomfortable and hoping that someone maybe goes, oh, I want a video from you. Now, a lot of you guys watching this video, you probably run ads before. Maybe you did it for a client or a friend and you just tested it. You're like, let's just put some ad spend out there. Or let's just boost this post. Maybe you made a reel and like, let's boost it, right? Or maybe you've tried ads for yourself before. Maybe you spent a couple $100s and you're probably sitting here thinking, man, ads don't work. I tried it, didn't make me money. I don't like it, it's not a good investment. So I'm just gonna go back to networking events. Let me give you an analogy real quick, okay? Let's say you're getting in a car and you start driving. You get your license, you learn how to do it, you start driving, you get in a car accident. And you're like, I'm never stepping foot in a car again because cars don't work. How silly is that? You just didn't know how to drive it at the time, so you got yourself into an accident. Learn how to drive better, and then get back in the car and go do it again. Because guess what? Millions of other people are doing it. So obviously it works. The same thing goes with paid ads. There's a reason Meta funnels hundreds of millions of dollars every single day from businesses running paid ads. It's because it works. People wouldn't be spending all this money if it didn't work. The question is, how do you make it work? Because I've got over 100 people that are all videographers selling the exact same thing that you are, which are videos, but with a little bit more on top of that, not just videos. A bunch of videographers that are all running ads and they're all making a buttload of money. So it works. The question is, how do you make it work? And here's exactly why what you're doing right now isn't working. The first thing is you're selling what every other videographer is selling. You don't have a no-brainer offer. You're just selling videos. Maybe you're selling videos and also saying you're selling video strategy, but you still don't even know what that means. Maybe you'll put together a pitch deck with some videos and you'll put together a flow chart talking about how you're gonna lead them through the customer journey. But then after that, you really don't know how to do anything else other than that point. So you're selling the same thing all these other videographers are selling. You're commoditized, and your offer really isn't a no-brainer, and people just don't want to buy it in the first place. The biggest mistake people make with ads is creating an ad to sell an offer that nobody really wants, or that blends in the sea with every other offer out there. Number two, you don't know how to follow a proven framework on how to script an ad that's actually going to perform well. Okay, you're just throwing shit against the wall hoping it's gonna stick. Stop throwing cheap spaghetti on the wall and put together some baller bolognese. Like, get that shit on there that you know is gonna stick instead of playing guessing games. This is a really weird analogy, but it's just what came to mind. So follow a proven framework to craft good creatives that are actually going to perform well. And then number three, you need to put together an actual funnel. You can't just run one ad, get a bunch of leads, and hope you're gonna close them, okay? You need to run an ad. You need to have good qualifying questions with a decent amount of friction. You then need to take the leads, organize them in a proper CRM, and then you need to have a good nurture sequence that sends certain emails and videos for them to watch and digest, that handles certain objections and intrigues them and tells them about your offer before you then hop on a call with them. And then when you hop on a call with them, you need to follow a proven script framework to actually get them to close to collect cash. And number four, the reason your ads didn't work is because you aren't tracking any KPIs. If you ran ads and I asked you what your KPIs are, you're not gonna be able to tell me your cost per lead, your lead to booking rate, your close rate, your show up rate, your click-through rate, your hook to lead ratio. You probably don't even know what most of those things even mean, but you're not tracking your numbers. And if you don't know your numbers, you don't know how to collect data to determine how to make better ads, how to get more leads, how to close more deals. Let me give you an example of what it looks like to build a predictable video business. And I'm gonna use the averages from all of our 100+ videographer students that are all running the same offer with the same lead gen process and the same systems that we did for our business. These are all averages. They sell an offer for $2,500 a month. And then they run a proven funnel where they script fill in the blank ads. They set up the funnel in a very specific format, and they follow a very specific lead to booking protocol and a very specific one call close script to collect cash. On average, our students are spending $350 to acquire a new client, otherwise known as a customer acquisition cost, or CAC for short. So for a $350 customer acquisition cost, they're closing a $2,500 a month client that pays them month over month over month with an average lifetime value of 12 months, which means the clients are paying them $30,000 over a 12-month time span. So you tell me, would you spend $350 to acquire a client that's gonna pay you $30,000 over a year? And if you would, how many times would you do that over and over and over again? That's what happens when you run a proven ad system for a proven offer that people actually want to buy. You track your metrics and then you scale what already works. And then what happens is everyone starts doing this and they start asking the question of, dang, it really is that simple. And the reality is business is actually a lot more simple than you think. We just overcomplicate it. And if you want to learn exactly step-by-step how to actually put this funnel into place, and not just some broad technical terms that I'm using right now, but I'll show you step-by-step how to actually do this, go ahead and click the link below in the description, and I'm going to send you to a free video training that's about 40 minutes long, and I literally just give it to you. I show you exactly how to track your numbers, what the numbers are you want to go for, the exact script you're going to run, the exact step-by-step training, and how to get the ads running, all for free. So click the link in the description, I'll send you directly to that video. So if you're struggling to get clients consistently as a videographer, I hope this video helped you and gave you clarity on what to do next. So at this point in the video, you've got two choices. Either one, you keep winging it and hoping that next month's gonna be better. Or two, you get the exact blueprint and support that you need to turn this into a real business. And if you picked option two, I want you to click that link below again, okay? Now that you know how to get leads, check out that video, and I'm gonna break down exactly step by step, the exact ad frameworks, exactly what I said before, the exact ad frameworks you're gonna implement, step by step, how to set up the ads, how to run them, your target KPIs, the exact script you're gonna use to close leads, everything. I'm just gonna give it to you totally for free, no strings attached. So go ahead and click that link, watch that video, thank me later, I'll see you in the next one.